achievements, the courage, determination of women who have shattered glass ceilings, broken barriers. Literally, these women have broken barriers. They know what I'm talking about. So they've broken barriers even today, making it possible. It has been a barrier that has been broken, and I congratulate you upon that. So they have paved a way for future generations and leaders. This book launch is not just a celebration, it's a call to action. So it's a call to action for all of us women to step in our power and create change in the world. It's also an invitation for all men to join hands with the women to create an environment of equity. I thank you all for being part of this book launch. Let the pages of this book be a beacon of hope, guidance, and empowerment to women everywhere. Do not leave this room without connecting, networking, and talking business with a woman. So, welcome, and let the journey begin. Thank you. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Operations Director of the Zion Pearl Publishers, our he for she, Mr. Doso Radido.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our chief guest, all esteemed authors and thought leaders, invited guests, families and their friends, and all protocol observed. Good afternoon again. My name is Doso Radido, and I'm so happy that this is happening. What makes me happy is the fact that we get an opportunity in our time and generation to be among the many people who knowingly have decided to champion the cause of supporting women and the work they do, and importantly, the value they bring to life. And this we are doing because in this part of the world, history is showing a very nasty and a very not so good to think about experience for the women. The background we are coming from has not been very, very good. We are coming from a background where women were there to be seen and not heard. Some time back, women were considered part of property, and some people counted them as among children. But if you open the package beyond gender, or beyond that outward package that you can see, you will find wisdom, you will find care, you will find tenderness, you will find resourcefulness, you will find energy, you will find life. And sometimes when I look at women, I always tell myself, can you now go beyond what you can see and explore? That's where you will meet these beautiful gems that have been hidden in there. And so that is actually the inspiration behind this project. The project runs on the belief that there is more in women than we have seen. All we need to do is to just dare to call it out, give it an opportunity, celebrate it, recognize it, reward it, and fund that fire. So SheLeads project is a unique project that is created to be that platform that offers an opportunity for this resource to be felt. And one thing that I know, and I think I've said this sometime in the past, if there is a people that we bury with untapped potential, is the women. A lot of it gets buried. And I always say, they find themselves in families that under-raise them. They go to school that under-educate them. Then they get employed in places that underutilize them. They basically get underemployed. and then they, when they are done, they get married in families that sometimes underutilize them again. But then when we get to the very end, we overbury them. So the only thing we are doing very well is to bury, because when we bury everything. But when we are living, we don't tap into their wisdom, we don't tap into their energy, we don't tap into their creativity, we don't tap into their suggestions, we don't tap into their ideas, and all these beautiful things. So we allow that to go. And the reason why we do that is because we begin to judge them from the container. And I'm telling you, when you open that skull up and you read that brain, it is just a human brain that can generate thoughts. And sometimes you want to do that so that you don't miss out on anything. So that, in my opinion, one of the biggest opportunities that we miss as a people is this opportunity called a woman. That's a huge opportunity. And when you discover this, then you begin to realize that it's possible to work with that resource, it's possible to tap into that resource, it's possible to use that resource to power growth and development. When other countries are priding themselves in their military power and economic power and technological advancements, we have a resource here called woman. And in this part of the world, we have it in higher numbers than any other gender. So that if we harness the power of this resource, it is possible to use it as a strategic resource to power growth, development, innovation, productivity, and a good life. So that in this project, our aim is to create a platform where we can shine a spotlight on her. And when we are doing this, we are not doing this because we have suddenly decided to be feminist, but because we have suddenly discovered that there is a resource that is lying around here that is going untapped, that is going unused. So we shine a spotlight on her so that everybody can see that there is a gold mine here. So we begin to harness and to harvest that resource. We give her a platform where her voice can be heard and where the issues that concern her and the things that she's trying to say can also be heard. We give her an opportunity where we can demonstrate to the rest of the world that there is a model of good things happening here. By the time this project is done, we are hoping that so many of these people will be known, and their voices will be so loud that everybody will get to hear about this. And I'm happy that as we do Volume 2, I think almost every part of the world knows that this project is going on and that this work is generating very, very good value. Because we've had a lot of interest from almost every continent of the world. Volume 1 had a couple of people from the UK and some from the US. This volume has a couple of people from several continents. And we are happy that this is happening because the African woman and the Kenyan woman has not been as visible as other women in other parts of the world are. And as I say this, I am aware that the experience of women in the third world nations is almost similar. So that as we talk about the African woman, she is actually considered among women who are from the third world nations. So we are interested in making sure that we position her in a way that she can be seen and she can be heard, not just locally, but globally. And as we do this, we are able to also begin to stir the waters so that this fire and this message can begin to go down to the younger girls and the upcoming ones, so that when they grow up knowing that they are important people, they are resourceful people, and they are people that are here actually to contribute to value in life. So this project hopes to reach to at least 1,000 women. And by the time the project is done, we are trying to imagine that we can generate about 10 million quotes from what they are saying. I believe if we generate 10 million quotes from what they are saying, some of them will be quoted. So that as we proudly quote Mahatma Gandhi and the late Martin Luther King and Mother Teresa, people that I highly respect, we can also quote some of them. And you will hear for yourself, because they're going to be giving speeches here, that some of the things they are going to be speaking here are actually quotable quotes. You will actually know for yourselves that these people are wise, that they are actually here not just to be seen, but to be heard. You will test for yourself that these people are actually a resource that we should be partnering with and working with to be able to power the kind of progress that we are looking for ourselves. Because if we allow this huge resource to exist in our midst, to occupy a space, to utilize the other natural resources that are here, and then not reciprocate and generate value to life, then you know that we are not thinking very, very well. We must allow this resource to bring its value, to add its color. We must feel the texture of their presence and harness what God has put in them so that we can build ourselves and produce the kind of progress that, that we are aspiring to see for ourselves. So my joy and my happiness is to see that in my time, something like this has happened. You see? Because something tells me that this should have happened 60 years ago, or even 100 years ago. But you see, she was fought. Those of you who have read the story of people like the late Wangari Maathai, you know that she was fought. But what she was fighting for was good. We only wasted her time, and then later on when she is almost exiting the platform, we allowed her. And she was just talking about trees. What's wrong with trees? She just wanted trees to be planted. She was not killing anybody. She was not looking for any office in government or anything. She just wanted trees. But we fought her. We frustrated her. But when we allowed her, that little space we allowed her, she did it so passionately, then she was recognized by the whole world. Look at that. There are some of you who are seated here who are actually supposed to be recognized on global platforms. And creating platforms like these ones and allowing these kind of things to happen is how we will get that to be realized in our time. So I am glad that it is happening. And I am hoping that now that you've believed in this and that you've come, that you will join the bandwagon and help as many of them as possible, because they are all over the place. Some of them are in our houses. We call them mothers. Some of them, we call them sisters. Some of them, we call them daughters. Sometimes it makes a lot of sense when they are daughters, but it doesn't make sense when they are mothers or when they are wives, especially wives. I don't know what goes wrong there. It is the same thing. You just call it a daughter because maybe you gave birth to it. But it is the same thing as you're married to, you see? So if you can support your daughter, you can surely support your wife. And if you can support your wife, you can support that other woman in the neighborhood. If you can celebrate your daughter, then your mother also can be celebrated. When I go home, I don't call my mother mother. I call her leader. Because a lot of what she has been doing, I think it's called leadership. My mother took me to the university, she's not been there. She took me to high school, she's not been there. She was so wise, she would come to school when we are now being awarded for what we have done. Then she's given an opportunity to give a speech to parents, and then she says what it means to raise a bright child. I used to ask her, Mom, what were you telling these people? Some of them have gone to school more than you. Then she tells me, why? You just stay silent, because what I'm using here is wisdom. And I know she's a wise woman, because what do you call that kind of a thing which is not it but produces bigger than itself? What is that? Is that not wisdom? That's what my mother was. So when I go home, I call her leader, because she's been leading us into beautiful destinies. She taught us decency. She taught us how to work with people. She taught us how to be productive. She taught us the value of work. She took us to the church and told us, you know what, this is the place. Even if you are stubborn now, you will come back. Especially me, my mom told me, you're just disturbing me, but I know you will come back. So she was speaking into my life, things that would later guide my life and help me be a decent person that can be productive. So the same way I see her as a leader is the same way I see my sisters as leaders. It's the same way I see the female colleagues that I work with as leaders. And I so much believe in them because that is what it is. And given an opportunity, they just shine. And when they are shining, they even forget that they are shining as females. They just feel like this is the moment for shine, so let's just shine. So they do the work and that's it. So this project, therefore, gives us an opportunity to create a platform And I know as we do this, we are going to awaken the conscience of the people that are getting affected by this, so that we can get a lot more people to believe in this and a lot more people to support this. So once we have collected their insights and their wisdom and what they know and get it into a book, we intend to start conversations. Because, when we start conversations, then we can push these issues that they are talking about into the atmosphere, into the environment, and some of it will find its way into our culture. Once we affect the culture, we know that we are going to have a sustainable way of realizing what we want. So the idea behind the project is to make it look like a chama. Those of us who know chama, small groups of people coming together to do things together. We have used that a lot with, I think, table banking, or, where people come together and everybody does a little something. And because of that joint effort, we do something big and everybody gets to benefit. Because we are targeting 10,000 people, the traditional approach would be to approach each one of them and get to have each one of them say what they want to say, and then we produce like 10,000 books for each one of them. But we felt like if we moved in that direction, then we may not be able to reach all of them in this lifetime. So we opened it up and said, okay, why don't we then allow as many of them as can be to just come together, and then we do this thing together, and then it moves as a chama or as a team of people that are working together. And that is how we get to realize this. So that this book remains to be a book as long as all these people are joined together in one. If everybody decides to pick what they brought and go away with it, there is no book. And even what they will go away with is not even a book, it's just an article, because everybody is writing a chapter. So you can just walk away with a chapter. There's very little you can achieve with it when you walk alone as an individual. But when we come together, then we bring something like this, then it's possible for us to create stories out of that, and then we use these stories to influence how things are happening. The conversations we are going to initiate with this are targeted at influencing how things are happening. As I told you, we are not doing very well in terms of harnessing the power of the woman resource. For those of us who have been looking at statistics, you know that they estimate that as we speak right now, the female representation in positions of power or authority stands at, the best I've seen, I think, is at 38%. So that means for every 100 people in positions of authority, 38 of them are women. So 38%, actually that's the best I've seen, but in most places it's actually 10 or less than 10% positions of authority. So while we are realizing 38%, I'll use that for purposes of arguing, while we are realizing that, or while we are achieving that, we are losing 62%. So when I look at that statistic, I usually get concerned about this 62. What is happening to it, where is it going, and why are we not able to harness the power of that? While we are doing this, economists estimate that if we could be able to harness the power of the woman resource, take her to school like she's supposed to be taken to school, support her like she's supported, give her opportunities like she's supposed to be given opportunities, allow her to take those courses like everybody else, allow her into those positions like everybody else, listen to her innovation and her ideas. If we do that, then it is possible as a country to inject between 20 to 30 billion Kenya shillings in our national GDP. Now that's a huge amount of money. If that happens today in our country, then most of these stresses that we are feeling, economic stresses that we are feeling, most of it will be relieved. But they're also estimating that if we move at the speed we are moving, we are likely to need between 100 and 300 years to achieve that. Who is going to be here 100 years from now? That means it will never be possible. Because before the next generation of people comes up and picks up these things that we are doing and gains that momentum, they will take longer than we are seeing right now. So we have every responsibility, every duty to make sure that in every possible way, even if it is small, we allow for these things to happen. We allow for the support of women. We allow that, that they're given opportunities, that they are given space to be able to contribute to what we are trying to do as a people, and that we strategically and intentionally invest in them. So that, as has been said here, when we get one of them standing, they stand for all of them. So when we get all of them standing, they are standing for all of us. And we help ourselves to make progress as a people. Because while other nations are using technological power or military power to bargain for themselves on the global platform, we could use our numbers. We could use this resource if we harness it properly. Other nations have discovered that, and they are doing it. Actually, if you look at what explains the difference between first world nations and third world nations, one of them is how they are harnessing the resourcefulness of their people. They start early, they do it so aggressively, they harness that resource while there is still time, and they allow them to be. So that if there are innovations to be made, they begin to experience them at an early age. If there are anything that is supposed to be contributed in medicine, in sports, in engineering, in teaching, in any kind of profession, they begin to feel it. So unless we aggressively begin to invest and stand behind our women, behind the work that they are doing, and behind the resources that they carry within them, then we may not have this competitive edge that we are imagining for ourselves. So as I bring my talk to a close, this is my challenge to you. I want you to believe in what I have said. I want you to see value in it. And I want you to see yourself taking this up and doing it in your space, so that when we come together, we can be able to feel the impact of this resource. These ladies you're seeing in this house, these are resources. These are resources. So you must wear lenses that allows you to see these people as resources. And as they rise, as they become who they're supposed to be, we should not see that as a threat. We should see that as a complementary force. Researchers have indicated that in organizations where gender inclusivity is supported, they are doing better than organizations that are not supporting that. And we know for sure, if you go into homes where the mother went to school and the father went to school, those children are living a different kind of life compared to a situation where only the father went to school, or the father did not go to school and the mother did not go to school. Actually, it is worse if the mother did not go to school, because she is the one who takes care of all of us. When we fall sick, she's the one who knows first. She's the one who feeds us. So if she does not know nutrition, you can be sure you're going to be in trouble. If she doesn't know anything about sicknesses and diseases, you can be sure you're going to be in trouble. We have spent a lot more time in the hands of our mothers than we did in the hands of our fathers. So it is just logical that we should be able to invest in them, so that communities that are supporting their women, that are empowering, that are allowing them to contribute to growth and development, they are doing better than communities that are suppressing the voice of their women. And you can just see that for yourself. There are certain communities in this country that have permitted their women to own property, to be part of the decision-making process, and they are doing better. They are doing better than the others that are not doing that. And the reason why they are doing better is because those women have been converted into a resource. Now they are value generators within those communities, and they are doing absolutely better. So with those simple examples, you can actually see for yourselves that the longer we take to embrace this, to support it, to champion for it, and to invest in it, the longer we will take to begin to experience the kind of bliss that we are imagining for ourselves. So if you forget everything that I have said, this is one thing that I don't want you to forget. Those women around you, your mother, your wife, your daughters, your neighbors, your aunties, wherever, those are resources. See them as so. Because that is how they appear in the eyes of God. It is us who reduces that resource into a particular agenda. It is us who reduces their intelligence into you're only supposed to be in the kitchen. I don't believe women are only supported in the kitchen. These people can think in the boardroom. These people can innovate. These people can disrupt industries. You know? These people can disrupt industries. And sometimes it just takes one person to shift the direction of a generation. I like the story of Dr. James Mwangi, Equity Bank. I always tell myself, whoever gave birth to that man, may she be blessed. Do you know how many people are being affected by the initiative that is being run by Equity, the Wings to Fly? Do you know how many people are being affected by that? If you begin to calculate the generational impact of that program, you can't just fathom how that looks like. Now, if we had people like those in every space, in every sphere, and we allow them to bring their impact, some of them are men and some of them are women. So if a woman like that begins to show up and begins to raise her voice, it is just good that we rally behind them and support them. So this project is designed to achieve this. I believe that there is something good that will come out of this beyond what we are seeing. I know this looks good and feels good so far, but there is something good. In my mind, I'm imagining a generational impact from this project, so that 3, 4, 5 generations down the line, there will be people whose lives will be affected by this. And I know it will be affected because these things don't die. Actually, the reason why we are going this way is because these ones take longer than us. 100 years from now, you may see some copies of these books in some people's shelves, in some people's houses. So you can be sure what we have put on these pages right now will live and probably will affect maybe 2 or 3 other generations to come. So what we are launching today is not just for ourselves. This is for another 2 or 3 generations to come. If we do a good job with this speech that I am giving, maybe another 3 or 4 generations will get to hear what I am saying. Those days will be all gone. I mean, none of us probably will be there. But they will hear what we were saying, and they will pick the concerns that we had. And so I want to thank all of you for believing in this and for coming. Your coming is a statement that you believe in what is happening here. You believe in these women. Some of them are your wives, some of them are your daughters, some of them are your aunties, relatives. I don't know how you are related to them. But you believe in them. As you go home today, just see them as resources. People who can think, people who can generate ideas, people who have energy, and the energy they have is not female energy. It is just energy. It can move this chair the way a male person can move this chair, or the way a robot can still move the chair. That energy, we must harness that energy and use it strategically to power our lives and to power growth and development. So as I finish, allow me to congratulate all the ladies that have been part of this project. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because you have allowed us to access that resource, and that you have responded positively to the confidence that we have in you. I also want to congratulate you for taking that bold step. Before the meeting started, we were talking to Evelyn Kisao over there and my friend. We were talking about the power of entering into the space of absolute confidence, where there is no fear, there is no anxiety. I know being human causes us to have some kind of anxiety, some kind of fear. That is what it means to be human. But it is possible to move with confidence even when you have these anxieties and all these butterflies and fears within you. But when we get to that space where we can be able to exercise absolute confidence, absolute faith, then that is when genius begins to ooze out of ourselves. And so the confidence that you had believing in this and saying, even me, my story will be part of the stories that will impact the world. I congratulate you for that. And I want to thank you for believing in this. Because one of the biggest challenges we have is that life has taught so many women not to believe in themselves. So many women don't believe. You tell somebody, do you know, by the way, you're pretty? They say, who, me? Yes, you. Many of them don't believe they're intelligent. Many of them don't believe they are pretty and beautiful. Many of them don't believe that they are capable. Many of them don't believe that they can do it because life has conditioned them to be small. Please permit the women that are within your circle and within your network to be big. Just allow them to be. Give them compliments. And sometimes doing that is what causes people to come alive. And one thing I always say is that for you to live your life, you have to be alive. And sometimes just permitting somebody to be alive is one of the best blessings you can release into somebody's life. Allow them to grow. Allow them to be intelligent. Allow them to be wise. Allow them to be creative. Allow them to use their energies to be productive. Allow them to be pretty. Tell them so. Tell them, you know what? We value you. You can do this thing. You can make it. You are an important person. Allow them to be important people. It doesn't take much. Just tell somebody, you know what? You are an important person. That makes people to catch the fire of life and to begin to be alive. So these people are an important resource, and we must believe in it, we must support it, we must nurture it, and we must allow it to contribute value in our lives, in our spaces of work, in our families, in our organizations. Let's use this. It is not a threat. Women are not a threat. Actually, women are not a threat. I want to announce to you that women are not a threat. These people are here to complement what we know, what we aspire to achieve, what we do. They are not a threat at all. So let's begin to look at them as a resource. Because even in the eyes of God, they are resources. So we make a huge mistake by reducing that to a certain other thing that does not even make sense in the eyes of the creation. So allow me to stop there and to thank you so very much for coming, and to let you know that we are happy that you came, and that we are happy that you believed in this together with us. Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
All right. My goodness. Let's just appreciate him again. Wow. Thank you. We believe in this, ladies, in these women leaders. We believe in this project, and we also believe in you, and we cannot wait to see how this is going to unfold, because this is going to be something so beautiful. It is already something that is so beautiful. Mr. Dawson, I know I asked you the other day, but trust me, I will still come to your office and we'll have a coaching session, and I will want to know, where is this thing with you and women coming from? And trust me, I know you've talked about your mother, but coaches in the room know we can probe. We can really go deep. And we'll come and I will ask you all the questions coaches ask, the 5 wives and the 1 husband. You know them, right? The why, the which, the what, the how. We will ask you until we get to the depth of, why are you so concerned about us? And we are happy that you're concerned about us. Let's just appreciate him one more time. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for that very good introduction and for starting us off that way. God bless you. When is the last time you laughed so hard and you cracked your ribs? Tell me. I know you guys are busy people. Do you get time to laugh? There is something I do with my family, actually specifically with my son, who's 9 years old. He loves to tell me jokes, and he calls them dad jokes. And I laugh all the time, and sometimes he repeats the jokes, and I still laugh. So let's see if there are people in this room who can laugh about these jokes that my son tells me all the time. Good to see you, Eunice. Welcome. All right. Why did the pharmacist walk on her tiptoes? Why did the pharmacist walk on her tiptoes? It's a dad joke. Don't think too much. They say dads are not funny, but they're a bit silly. So think silly. Where was she going? Why did the pharmacist walk on her tiptoes? She didn't want to wake the sleeping pills. They are so silly. They are so silly. All right. What did the police say to his belly button? What did the police say to his belly button? You are under arrest. Yeah. I see you like them. Okay. Why did the computer catch a cold? You can do that one. It had a virus. Oh, that's a good one, by the way. It had but now the dad joke is it left a window open. That's a good one. Good one, good one. Okay. How do celebrities keep cool? This one you have to try. How do celebrities keep cool? Think celebrities, think celebrities. How do they keep cool? Because they? Yes, they do. They have many, many fans. That's a good one. All right. Then, what did the janitor say when they jumped out of the closet? What did the janitor say when they jumped out of the closet? Try that one. Supplies. Aha! All right, all right, all right. So I want us to get to a space where we listen to these amazing people. We're still laughing. I know some people get the joke when people have laughed and laughed. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. I'm usually the slowest to catch them. That's why I write them on a paper, by the way. And tomorrow when he repeats them, I won't even remember what the answer was. So I'm with you on that. So I want us to get into this very important session where we listen to the people who have invited us here. And these are the authors. We cannot wait to hear about what they wrote about or what they think is going to be valuable to us. I am a Toastmaster. Is anybody else in the room a Toastmaster? Toastmaster. I am the only Toastmaster? This is good. So I can even lie to you and you will not know that it was a lie. Okay. At Toastmasters, we do speeches. This is an international organization where we learn how to speak and to become leaders. So we do speeches. And usually you get a speech that is 3 to 4 minutes and a speech that is 5 to 7 minutes. So our speeches today are going to be 5 to 7 minutes. And usually, when you get to the 5th minute, there's usually somebody who gets a card. Usually it's a green card. Then when you get to your 6th minute, they raise a yellow card. And then when you see a red card, it's time for you to. So I don't have the cards today, but when you see me standing and coming closer to you or going there and saying hi, just you know your 7 minutes is up because we really want to listen to you. These books are rich. The stories are rich. But if we allow you to go on and on, we might stay here until tomorrow. It's a Friday. We don't want to do that, right? So can we do 5 to 7 minutes? 5 to 7 minutes. And I want you to flow with whatever you want to flow with. Whether you want to talk to us about yourself, whether you want to talk to us about your authoring journey, whether you want to talk to us about the subject and what you wrote about, we are happy with that, but we're not going to give you a script on what to talk about. Is that cool? Cool or cool? Very, very cool. Okay, great. So, our first speaker, our first author, her long-term goal is to leave a legacy of continuous improvement and capability building people, processes, and systems. She has very good people skills, good communication skills, presentation skills, and team building leadership skills. She has a consultancy business, and she is herself a business owner. She's also a supply planning expert with over 15 years experience in regional end-to-end supply chain management. And I'm talking about Evelyn Kitsao. Can we have you on stage? Let's welcome her, let's appreciate her. And we're clapping until she gets on stage. Let's clap for her until she gets on stage. We're not getting tired. Evelyn, you are very welcome.
Thank you.
The podium is yours.
Thank you.
Would you like the podium or the mic? The podium? Okay. Then I will give you this mic.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I was really hoping I wouldn't be the first one to be called, but I may as well get this done, be the first one here. It's very nice to be here. I'm happy to see all of you people. I have met new people. I'm hoping these will become friends, like happens in different phases of my different areas in my life. I'm very happy to see Decima here. I worked with her. And I'm looking forward to spending the rest of this afternoon with you all. I'm going to read what I'm going to read. And the reason I've written what I'm going to write, and I know I'm losing some of my time as I talk, is because I didn't want to lose some of the things I want to share. So my question as I begin is, the people who are not authors in this room at the moment, how would you respond if I walked up to you right now and asked you to take part in the next book project? Would your answer be yes? Would your answer be no? Anyone? Okay. What would your answer be? You would say yes? Okay. Why would you say yes? Why would you say yes? Oh, nice. Okay, anyone who would say no? No one, wow. Okay, so you have a whole room to pick from, Mr. Aradu, for your next book project. Okay, when I was called in, I think it was in March, by Rhoda, my first reaction wasn't yes. I wish I could say it was. Because when she finished talking, I thought, okay, what am I going to write about? 4,000 words, that seemed... Okay. So I thought, what am I going to talk about in 4,000 words? And one of the friends I talked to told me, but you speak more than 10,000 words in a day. What is 4,000 words written? And I thought, well, okay. So I immediately called my friend and prayer partner. I was hoping she would be here, but something has come up with her manufacturing business, so she can't join us. I called her, we prayed about it, and for 2 weeks, I kept thinking, let me call and say I can't do this. Let me call and say I can't do this. But then during one of my prayer walks, one of the things that I really love doing, I walk 17,000 steps a day. I gave myself a target of doing 6 million steps a year, and for the last 2 years, I've managed to do it. Yes, it was triggered. It was triggered by COVID and needing to be out in a space where I could run away from all that being enclosed, but it's become a habit that I have continued with. So during one of my prayer walks, it became very clear to me what I can write about. So my story is about my journey and how I've seen God's hand working in my professional life. So 7 organizations later, 10 different roles, many business projects later, I can confidently say that life doesn't come with a map, it doesn't come with a manual, yet there are learnings and experiences to be enjoyed all along the way. So of course, once I had the idea of what to write about, the words flowed. So suddenly the 4,000 words were not enough. By the time I was submitting my, I think, 3rd draft, I had to start cutting down to fit into the allocation, words allocation by author. So my career legacy, my goal has already been said, one of the legacies I want to leave. I never imagined it would be done, this would be one of the ways that I would be doing it, through writing a book. If my late dad was here, he would have been very happy to see this moment for me, because he was a published author and he did quite a number of books. So I'll happily put my book next to his. Yes, it doesn't have my title on the cover, but contributing author. So as I line up the books he has done, I'll happily put mine there and broadcast it to everyone. So one of the things that I do, anytime I discover something new, I share it with my children. And this book project has been one of them. I talked to them about it from the time I started writing. I have 2 children. My son is 17, my daughter is 15. And they have been keeping me accountable to making sure I write this book. So by the time I was submitting the final draft, my son told me, Mom, this has not been easy for you, but you've challenged me. And he said he's actually going to start writing his own book. Whether it will get published or not is another story, but he has started writing a comic, and he said for him that's his way of reaching out to his teenagers, to his fellow teenagers, that he can share a story that will share his life with them. Talking about my son, I've just remembered something that about limiting God. He just joined a new school 3 weeks ago, and Decima knows him. She's worked with him. Thank you for that. You'd be very proud if you saw him now. He joined a new school 3 weeks ago, and almost as soon as he joined, the school announced that there are vacant leadership positions that are waiting to be filled. And he came and talked to me about it, and he said, but you know, Mom, people are saying those positions are for the people who've been in this school since KG. I'm a newbie. And people actually told him, by the way, newbies don't get elected to these positions. And I told him, you know what, that's not what God says. Don't limit him. And as we speak right now, my son is on his way to Nyeri with the school for a weekend retreat for senior school leaders. And I'm so proud of him. I feel like going back to tell everyone who said that newbies cannot be elected, I feel like going to ask them, who told you? Because what the world says and what God says can be 2 totally different things. So please don't limit God in your life. He can do so many amazing things. We are the ones who limit him in what he can do in our lives. And, okay, I'm waiting to see my timer. Okay. 40. Okay, I'll jump to the end. So my parting shot here is, I've made very many friends in my different workplaces. One of the things I would encourage women, please find women friends to work with you. Find people who will support you and be a friend to other women. Don't be that, what is it called? You know that thing of women don't support other women? Don't be one of those people. Someone said during one of our women's leadership that there's a special place in hell for women who do not support other women. Let's not be among those women. I'd like to thank the SheLeads project team and Zion Publishers for this opportunity to be part of the project. It's been one of the most fun challenges I've taken up this year. Thank you for sharing your vision of leading women and inspiring the younger generation. My prayer is that it's going to impact, to be felt in bigger ways than anyone envisioned, even bigger than the numbers you mentioned. Can I have just one more minute to read something? Okay. Mr. Adido was laughing at me yesterday because he said when I was talking I sounded like T.D. Jakes. This is the current book I'm reading, God's Leading Ladies, written by T.D. Jakes. So one of the things I'd like to share is just something that he wrote at the back that I keep reading when I need some inspiration. The time has come for you to step out of the shadows of your life and into the spotlight. Jesus made it clear that he came not just to free us from our failures, but that we might be free to succeed. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. That's from John 10:10. All women have the potential to be one of God's leading ladies, to move beyond the edges of the stage where they have watched life's drama unfold before them, and to stride onto center stage and fulfill the role of a lifetime. Make no mistake, becoming God's leading lady does not require play acting or pretending to be something you're not. On the contrary, becoming a true leading lady requires stripping away all other roles and bit parts you may have settled for and acted out before. It means discovering who you are and what you are truly about, and exercising faith in your divine director to guide you through the only authentic performance of which you are capable. Leading lady, your time has come to quit waiting in the wings and take your place on stage. This is your cue. The time is now. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much. Indeed, indeed, the time is now. We appreciate you and thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And we are all leading women. So I'm just going to bring it here because they're complaining they can't hear. So this mic is going to be better here. And then we can all use this one. Okay, great. Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with us. We totally, totally appreciate you. And congratulations on writing in this book. The next person to speak to us has experience from a long-standing career in the NGO sector. She is highly skilled in conducting gender analysis, gender audits, and managing gender strategies. She is an international development practitioner and a senior gender expert with over 20 years of experience. She strengthens African institutions' ability to integrate gender and nutrition into their way of doing business. And I am talking about the one and only Winnie Osula. Woohoo! Welcome until she gets on stage. Welcome, welcome, Winnie. And here is your mic.
Wow. I didn't know I have so much until she introduced me. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm speechless. Yet I wrote something. I think she finished the words out of my mouth, really. Yeah, my name is Winnie Osula, as has been introduced. Thank you for that. A gender specialist by profession. I am a mother, and I always tell people I'm a mother of adults. I am a wife, and I am a friend. And I'm glad that I have two of my good friends here. I have my family. Every time I make a milestone, I'm glad that they're always part of it. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone else for coming to join us to celebrate this event. It is lovely to have all of you here. But you might be wondering what I'll be telling you today. What I would love to talk about is that making a speech, the Toastmasters can talk without writing anything. But some of us, I think only when I'm in a training is when I speak without even looking at the slides that I'm presenting. But today I think I've been taken aback a bit, and I put down some stuff that I wanted to share with us. I also by talking so much about me. But what I also want to share with us is that what really gave me the motivation to do this. And I remember when I was given the opportunity to take part in this, Rhoda called me and I traveled to Ethiopia. I'd taken the very early morning flight. And I think we were speaking at about noon and I was still feeling sleepy, and I told her, hey, I need to rest. And after a while, I felt like, really, do I want to do this? And she kept on nudging me. And there's a gentleman in the room, Sam Oando, my colleague. I shared with him. He's a friend and a colleague as well. I shared with him and he told me, hey, my brother, my sister, do not miss that opportunity. I know your capability in writing. Go for it. You already have an opportunity because I'm pursuing my PhD. And he was like, you already have the material. What's your problem? Yeah, so I picked part of my PhD work and I coined it into what the book needed. But you might wonder, why that direction? Why did I take that direction? What drove me into that direction is because I've worked so much in the space of women empowerment. And you've heard from my profile, I'm also working with the agriculture institutions in the African continent to try and help them see the point of integrating gender into their way of business. And so working with local women, the rural women, especially at the local level, doing women empowerment initiatives, I noticed that something that is lacking is their capability to get into the leadership space. And why do I say this? They contribute so much in that sector already, but finding them in the leadership positions was something that was still lacking because they had no voice, they had no agency. But now going beyond that, I noticed that women also have a collective action. We belong to chamas. and also talked about bringing us together in the book Chama. So, it's somehow a way of life. And through collective action, there's a way we can pull masses. So I looked at that model and I told myself, why not look at women's leadership from a collective action point of view? And then I think about the cooperative movement, which is embedded in issues about trust, issues about collective action, issues about equality and equity. And these are the principles that drive women's empowerment in that space. So I took that direction and I said, well, this is what I'm going to write about. So personally, I've struggled with those kind of leadership issues, and I saw an opportunity around, working with women. So this is what actually opened my eyes to how best can I look at what other people have done, what is going on even in my areas of work, and how I can make it better for the benefit of others. So I also looked at the agriculture sector as a sector that presents a lot of opportunities for women. The African woman is a woman, especially the rural one, contributes so much, I think about 60%, if I'm not wrong, in the actual work of, plowing and planting and weeding. But where do you find them in the decision-making spaces? They are not there. And we only make decisions when we are in the rightful place where we can make an influence, and therefore calls for the issue of leadership. So that is the background to which informed what I wrote. And as much as I was writing from my heart, I was also making reference to what other people have done through research, through experiences. And you'll notice that I made a lot of, when you read the article, you'll realize that I made a lot of references to the literature that has already happened. For me, it was about what has other people done that I can leverage on. This is my journey to promote women's leadership. But I think we all know that women's leadership is an area that people have really spoken about. I remember one time calling my sister-in-law to come, I am a Rotarian, to come and be our guest speaker. And I asked her, it was around the Women Empowerment Month, and I asked her to talk about women's leadership. And she told me, no, that is too much. People have spoken too much around it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I realized that there was still so much around that we can still talk about, that we can still write about, that we can still, make people aware of. So I looked at this from the factors that affect women in leadership, and I also looked at it from what does collective action really mean for women as they want to pursue their leadership opportunities. And I also looked at it from the cooperative movement way. What are the opportunities we have? What are the lessons that we can learn there? And what is the cooperative already contributing in that sector? So I'm hoping that with that, you'll understand where my point was coming from. But to leave you with a word is that I talked about it earlier. It's about consistency. Because if you're not consistent, then you cannot achieve your leadership path. It's about knowing where you want to go, and you have to be consistent on that journey. Look for your support system. I think my previous speaker talked about women coming together. Look at your the kind of network you keep. Is it a network that will keep you on your consistent journey? So the ultimate word for me that I will leave you with is consistency. And thank you so much for listening.
All right, all right, all right. Woo! Let me tell you something, Winnie. Winnie, Toastmasters and Rotarians are brothers and sisters because Rotary is the one that gave back to Toastmasters. So you did so well. You even left us with 9, 8, 7 seconds to work with. Good job. Awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. And who would ever think, see, there's a timer, just gone. Who would ever think that a PhD thesis could become a book? Oh my goodness, that is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Now, this next guest is special to me because she is the wife to a classmate of mine in high school. So there's pressure here. So I don't know what I used to do in high school. I will not ask him to say anything. I hope he never tells you things. All right, okay, good. So, but she is very passionate about leadership and self-care while maintaining a great balance around various life aspects. She is an independent, non-executive director at the Kenya Nut Company Limited. She is also an independent non-executive director at Harry PLC Limited. She's currently the Chief Finance Officer at ICEA Lion. She's a professional accountant with over 19 years of experience, and I'm talking about my classmate's wife, Zippy Chege. Woohoo! Let's clap for her until she gets here. Yes, yes, Zippy, you are welcome. And you look glamorous. You look amazing. Please, take the stage, Zippy.
Okay. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Please allow me to introduce my guests. It's important I introduce the classmate, Mr. David Chege, my husband. Thank you. I'm also privileged to have all my parents here. I'll ask them to just stand and wave at us. And thank you for being here. In the room as well is my only blood sister. Her name is Wanja Mungai. I'll ask her to stand and wave at us as well. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm not a Toastmaster, so let me get straight into it. My speech is titled, Keep Those Balls in the Air. As women, we have many titles to our names: a wife, a mother, a daughter-in-love, a sister-in-love, a granddaughter, an employer, and our professional titles, and the list keeps going on. In the course of this, it's important to identify and nurture our forever titles. These are titles that no one can ever take away from us. Behind these titles are many lovely people, all who have a big bag of expectations. Expectations that we will be there when they need us. Expectations that we will prioritize them when required to do so. And expectations that we will excel in our relationships with them. And yes, woman of Africa, and I dare say, woman of the world, who are you not? The truth is, quite often, we feel pulled in all directions and not sure if we're doing it right. It sounds like the pursuit of centeredness is a remote dream, hence chapter 10 of SheLeads, volume 2. In this chapter, I give an account of my upbringing, which has formed the lady in front of you today. I celebrate my mom. Thank you, Mama, who is here with us today, and my late dad, together with a community of my relatives, all who played a big role in bringing me up. I must confess that the little grit I have, I trace it to my upbringing. This is my shy way of describing the Iron Lady I am commonly referred to by my friends, family, and colleagues. I share with us in this book a few nuggets that can help us navigate and pursue that balance between our many titles. And these include delegating all non-core activities, getting and asking for help, kicking the myths off our mindsets, instituting controls with key performance indicators the same way we do it at work, boundary setting, clarity in communication, saying no, careful selection of friends, investing in friendships, and self-care. Please dive into chapter 10 to find out more about these critical aspects. In closing, I will share with us the lyrics of the song, Balls in the Air, and here it goes. How much can you do? You lift and push and struggle, but the foot on the other shoe. Just grab a hold and juggle all those balls in the air. How hard can it be? So hard you're getting dizzy. Keep those balls in the air. Keep those balls in the air. How fast can you go? Looks like you might be in trouble when you just want to let it flow. Try not to burst your bubble. Get those balls in the air. How hard can it be? So hard you're getting dizzy. Keep those balls in the air. Balls in the air. How hard can it be? So hard you're getting dizzy. Keep those balls in the air. All those balls in the air. How hard can it be? So hard you're getting dizzy. So help me say the last one. Keep those balls in the air. Thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness. Zippy. And an author and a poet as well. Wow, totally enjoyed that. Manchege, I know you will never hear this from a lot of classmates, but you got yourself a good thing. I can tell you for sure. I'm sure you know that. Do you now? Okay, thank you, Zippy. We appreciate you. This lady who's coming on stage next has a proven track record of helping clients earn rewarding careers and triple their, or I think also quadruple their income. This is interesting. I think I need you as a coach. She is a children's storybook writer. She is on a mission to assist individuals to make the best out of LinkedIn in closing clients, in launching successful businesses, and in content for their brands. She is a communication specialist with 8 years of experience, and she does CVs by Nancy. I am talking about our very own author, Nancy Kemuna. Let's invite Nancy on the stage. Nancy, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are clapping until she gets here. Nancy, is it quadruple or triple?
Triple and quadruple.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Take the stage, it's yours.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Has someone ever said something to you that made you feel so small? 15 years ago, a math teacher told me that I'll go nowhere. Mwalimu wa math, hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? So my journey starts as a student in a primary school, right in the heart of Nyamira. Mwalimu wa math really discouraged me and told me that I'll never go anywhere. And those words kept ringing in my mind every other day. But now as time progressed, the math was not mathing. I started telling myself that you should have said it right, that nothing will come out of me. But here I am, now writing for those kids, now assuring them that math is just only one subject. There are so many subjects. I can speak French and read French, so what is math? But I'd encourage people to, if math is your subject, do it with passion and zeal. So when Rhoda reached out early this year, she asked me about the prospect of writing a book, this project, SheLeads project. The first instance was a yes. I was to take part on this project. But as I headed to that link that they shared, I saw women leaders, people with 20 years of experience, 30 years of experience. Me, tiny Nancy, what was I to write about? But I gathered my strength and did something. And I'll be so short of words if I cannot say about LinkedIn. Who is on LinkedIn by show of hands? A good number, almost everyone. So LinkedIn early this year, they honored me and gave me a badge for a top voice. Thank you, thank you. So Top Voice is an invite-only program that thought leaders from across the world in different disciplines, say business, health, entrepreneurship, they're given that badge to show that this person can be trusted on this topic. Now, when I was given that, it has helped me, and I have also given voice to young women such as me. I can see in our audience, we are women of all ages, and I stand here to represent that woman who is 20-something years old or even 30 years old, because we too have a voice. We don't need 40 years of experience. We do not need that. We do not need to have a certain type of body, a certain type of experience. No, we too can lead. We have a voice. And thank you, Radido, for giving us this platform. I know a young lady will look at me tomorrow or even today and say, Nancy did it, I'll do it. I wasn't even an A student. No, I was a C student. But my clients are from all over. A students, people from Alliance High School. It gives me so much hope and so much admiration because it can be done. It can be done. With the right mindset, it can be done. I want to conclude with this quote from Malala. We all know Malala. We've heard of Malala. She said, I raise up my voice, not so I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. Such a nice quote. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Mwalimu wa math, hapa ni wapi? You guys need to do videos tutumie mwalimu wa math. Thank you very much for your speech. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Now, this next speaker, this next author, I love your name, just so you know that. And I think when I finish introducing her, you'll also say we like her name and we like the way it sounds. She is a trusted advisor. She is renowned for conducting comprehensive compliance risk assessments, providing expert advice, and developing tailored solutions to her clients. Her strengths lie in her exceptional ability to forge strong partnerships and to expand networks. She holds a master's degree in law and finance from the University of Oxford. She is an exceptional leader with a remarkable career in education, government affairs, advocacy, compliance, forensics, they're not ending, intelligence, and stakeholder relationship management. And I'm talking about the lady whose name I totally love. Maybe you can tell us about your name some more. Sharon Cherambos, boss lady. Sharon, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage. Welcome. Until she gets here, Cherambos, you are welcome. Let me turn this baby on for you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me to stand on the protocols that have already been observed. I think for me it is an absolute honor and privilege to be part of this project. And in this 5 or so minutes, I will speak about the journey and the person who has influenced me to be who I am today. I think what I have seen as really magnificent is how many times we refer to our mothers in this room. For me, I stand on the shoulders of an amazing woman, Helen Cherambos. It is sad that she's not here. But it is beautiful that I stand here as a byproduct of who she is and who she made me. My story of leadership started when I was very young. You know, I grew up in a household where leadership was a mindset. There was no question as to whether or not you'd be a leader. It was all about you're a natural born leader. And I think, as one of my co-authors has alluded to, it's not something that you learn per se, but a map that you end up discovering on your own. My journey is one that I witnessed from when I was very young. And when you delve on my chapter, you will see exactly what I mean. My mother came from very humble beginnings. And in the process, she managed to become this phenomenal woman. And I remember looking at her coming home, and she had this amazing combination of being a nurturer. She would work with thousands of students. I believe she impacted hundreds of thousands of women. She was the principal of Moi Girls Eldoret. And she was able to be a mother to those young ladies that she was molding. She was able to correct them. She was able to nurture them. She did the same in the boardroom with very influential people. She did the same thing to her members of staff. And she would come home and she would instill the same principles to us. I think if there's one thing that I have learned from her is the power of stewardship as a leader. She would always say that you always lead as a steward. You're there to listen, you're there to guide, you're there to nurture. That leadership is not about being an authoritarian, but leadership, especially from a feminine point of view, is all about listening, finding out where the challenges are, finding the solutions, and being wise in how you impact the solutions, understanding who you're leading. And I think I can proudly say that in the journey where I am right now, I still draw on those words. And in my chapter, I share with you everything that I was able to pick up from her. I think if we were to speak about it and the lessons that I learned, that would be 3, 4, 5 volumes of the book. But in my chapter, I specifically talk about how I navigated the journey. My chapter is about a fusion of seeing leaders who bring you up and finding yourself. Allow me to give you a case in point. When I started my career, I started it in London. I started it in a setting where nobody looked like me. I was a young black woman in a boardroom full of white, very right-wing men. And in that process, I had to find myself. I had to lead a team of people who didn't believe I was worthy. I had to be amongst peers who didn't quite believe that I belonged. And I remember I would call my mother and I would second guess myself. And she would always remind me to remain authentically me. And I stood to that. And she said, "Do you know what, Sharon? When you are truly yourself, people will get to see who you really are. If you lead the way I have taught you, and if you learn your quirks along the way, you will get to be a great leader." And another thing that I thought I will share, when I came back home, I used to see that a lot of the women in leadership, the moment you are appointed to a senior position, you would shave your hair, and you would lose all aspects of femininity. And once I started going into my leadership roles, I remember telling her, "Mom, I think it's time for me to shave my head." Yes, I think that when a woman shaves her head, of course, it's a very significant and powerful point of view. When you're a woman, it says a lot. But she said, shave your head if you think that that is who you are. But if you want to be an authentic and true leader, then it is important that you embrace everything that is you. If you are playful, be playful. You don't have to go into the boardroom with masculine energy. You can just be feminine. Be authentically yourself, because what a man cannot offer is that feminine aspect. And I will genuinely say that that has helped me propel further. And as I end my little spiel, allow me to leave you with what I believe are the key thoughts that come out of the chapter. My chapter will take you through a journey, but above all, it will emphasize that as a woman, embrace your femininity, celebrate your unique strengths, and let your authentic self shine through. As you step into your leadership path, I hope and pray that the insights and experiences that I share, and by proxy those of my mother, that they may guide you to become an exceptional leader who inspires and empowers others. What I can say is that the world is waiting for us Black African women, for us women, to go out there and show them that we can lead in manners and ways that others may not be able to lead. Thank you very much.
Woohoo! Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. The world is indeed waiting for us. And yes, Cherambos, we have a lot to offer, and you've just encouraged us and assured us that yes, we do have a lot to offer. Thank you, Cherambos. I will keep saying that name because I love it. Thank you, we appreciate you. Can we play at this or that? Tea or coffee? Tea? Okay, tea. All teas. Okay. Or the coffees. Okay, that's a 50-50 there. Work from home or from the office? Home? This COVID. Office? Office. Okay. There are still a few of us who like structure. That's the word we use when we want to go to the office. I like structure. So I'm going to go to the office. Read a book or watch the movie? Both? Read? Read. Watch the movie? Both? Okay. So read the book first, then the movie, or the movie, then the book? Same time? Same time. Okay, text or call? Call? Text? Okay, 50-50 still. Earn a commission or a salary? Commission, salespeople in the house. We write our own checks. Commission, I see you, Eunice. Commission, sell me this pen. Commission, please. Salary? Someone said both. We still want a side hustle. We want a salary and a side hustle. Okay, I hear you. This other author or next speaker is a member of the Africa Risers Network, ARN, and the Women on Boards Network. Her areas of expertise include strategic leadership, business development, strategy formulation, and implementation, as well as relationship management. She is an accomplished senior management financial executive with 15 years and over of experience in the banking industry. I would like us to invite Mary Ogola to the stage. Mary, you are welcome to the stage. Woohoo! We're clapping for you. You can take your time. We'll keep clapping until you get here. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Congratulations. Welcome on the stage. Here you go. They said I need to pull this a little closer. I think that's better. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me? Okay. Thank you very much for coming to spend this afternoon with us. I think it's been an interesting journey, as alluded by a lot of the authors who've already come. So I'll share a bit about what my journey has been, especially in regards to books. So books have always been a part of my life. I think when I was little, I would read all the time. I remember as a preteen and a teenager, I read a lot of the legal dramas, the investigative books, and the romantic books. I'm sure we all did, Mills and Boons and all of those things that got us into trouble. And if you lived in a setup like I did, then you probably had 2 days to read it before it went on to the next person. So just developing a reading for books really influenced a lot of my life. As an adult, I think my relationship with books have continued. And I probably would equate, reading books to me as having like a close friend. I think through the pages of books I've explored different aspects. And I think a lot of it, even now in my career, has influenced or framed my leadership philosophy as a result of that. I think when Janet, I think a lot of guys have mentioned Rhoda reaching out to them. I think for me it was Janet. When she reached out to me to participate in this project, I was definitely nervous, but I think I was thrilled as the writing came together. Just because I think in our African context, we don't have a lot of African women sharing a lot of stories other than the ones who are really publicly known. And I think doing this journey for me has allowed me to just delve deeper into the situations that we can be able to share with what I call our younger sisters, our, under 30s, under 25s who are coming behind us. I think a lot of what I talk about in my chapter is around just starting where you are. I think sometimes we always wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect titles, the perfect accolades, the perfect awards to come in before we start raising our hand and speaking to the situation in regards to leadership. And so I think in summary, because I'm not a Toastmaster, Rotarian, or any of those guys, is to just say that I hope that, as our younger sisters come across this book, they will be able to listen to the different stories that ordinary women who are doing extraordinary things, they would get inspired. And I think, like the lady who said just coming in, the different voices that speak to our younger sisters as they come across or as they navigate their journey would be silenced because of what has been shared in the pages of these books. So we really thank you all for coming. I really applaud the co-authors in these books. In this book for taking that time to share their journey. And I hope that, our generation in our African context would be significantly changed as a result. Thank you very much.
Woohoo! Thank you. Oh my goodness, you are worse than a Toastmaster. Or should I say you're better than a Toastmaster? You took like less than half of the time. And you still delivered an amazing, great message. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. So we go on and move on to our next speaker. This is very challenging to us as coaches. So as I read, listen carefully, pay attention. So her profession is showcased through her numerous certifications, including she is an executive coach, Clarity 4D accreditation, CDC certified divorce coach, and a certified professional mediator. Dear coaches, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. But somebody said we are walking our own journey, and I love that. Her professional achievements have seen her serving as a full member of the Institute of the Human Resources Management in Kenya. She is a founding board member of the Management Consultants Associations of Kenya. She is an impactful and dedicated HR leader with over 20 years of experience in human resource management. I want to invite our executive coach, Clarity 4D certified divorce mediator, author Decima Ogutu, to the stage. Woohoo! You are welcome and congratulations. Thank you.
And that tells my age, right? My official name is Decima, but I'm also known as Daisy. And I'm so honored and privileged to be here today. My elder sister Maggie and my only brother, who's my best friend, is also here, and I do acknowledge you. Like everyone else, I've had people were called, I think, in January, February, March. I think I must have been in the tail end. It was either June or May, June. And when Rhoda called me, I was like, First of all, in Kenya, so many hawks. And I was like, let me just Google a bit about Zion Publishers. And I read a bit, and I accepted the meeting, and I was still not sure. I was a bit hesitant. PLO Lumumba is a very good friend of mine, so I called him, and I told him, I've been invited to co-author in this book. What do you think? And he said, yes, I've been telling you, and I've been asking you to write. So I'm truly, truly honored, and I can't still believe it. I was holding the book that actually my name is there, and congratulations to all the authors who are here. As you've heard, my background is in human resource. And human resource, we deal with human beings. And once upon a time, I think is the lady who spoke, sorry, I've forgotten your name. We were once young, and we started our career journeys as young, naive individuals. And across the block, I've worked with very, very good leaders and very horrible leaders. And if you know me, I'm a person, my values are honesty, integrity, and respect, and I speak my truth. So when I joined the work environment, I was completely lost because I never processed back then I was not processing. I would say whatever came to mind. And this happens to be so because I'm a middle child. My mom had 8 children. I'm the 4th girl. Then my only brother was born, and everyone forgot about me. So in order to be remembered, I honestly had to be a dramatic child. So where did I find solace? Was with my grandma. As life would have it, my parents died when I was a teenager, quite a difficult time for me, and of course my siblings. And my grandmother took up the responsibility of not only becoming a grandmother, but also becoming a mom. So my leadership journey, it's not even in the institutions that I've been privileged to work in, is purely from the admiration that I have for my grandma, who was a big, big influence in who I am today. So if you get a chance to read my chapter, you will keep on seeing, I refer to her as Dani, but she had so many names. We called her Wayu. If you're a Luo, you know Wayu. Waya. Waya is an aunt. My brother called her Jaoda, wife. She was a grandmother. So my grandmother literally wore different, she sat in different pillars within our journey as we were growing up. When I was writing, I think the first instance when you're invited to write as a female leader is you want to talk about leadership, your leadership journey, and all these things that we've read about. So my first submission was literally, I think, a thesis on leadership. And when I submitted, I'd not even counted the words. It was 7,000 words. So you can imagine how much I'd put in. Then when they sent the first draft, I was like, no, this is not the story that I want to tell because it has been told. And when we get an opportunity to share our thoughts or tell our stories, it's important for us to be authentic. And when I say authentic it's about you. It's not about the next person. What informs who I am today and the work that I do. And I decided to write, and my title is Lead from the Heart. When you think about the heart, mothers, how many mothers do you have in here? Many. If you've delivered naturally, what is the one thing that you wait for in a room, in the delivery room? The cry. What does it signify? Life. That the child is breathing. So that's the heart pumping. When someone dies, what stops? It's the heart. So for me, the heart is the most important element amongst many other things when it comes to leadership. One, because in your heart, you set intentions. When you leave your house in the morning, if you're a leader, I don't know whether you do that. Do you set intentions in terms of how are you going to impact others? Because for me, when we talk about leadership, leadership is about serving others. Leadership is about contributing in an inspiring manner to bring other people up, to motivate them to want to do better and be better. I'll not dwell on, a lot of things that we hear about women, horrible leaders, do not empower, we have hormones, we are jealous of each other, we fight. Those are part of life. But if that is a description that people give you as a female leader, then perhaps you need to step back and ask yourself, who are you? And how do you want to be remembered? The importance of leading from the heart is also because when I go for funerals, I've been to quite a number, of course, even you guys, and when they read eulogies, you hear people murmur and ask, who the hell is this person? Are we talking about the same person? You do not want to be a different person at home, a different person with your friends, and a different human being at work. You must integrate who you are, and that is where authenticity comes in. I'm a professional coach. I do not coach people to get divorced. I do the intervention. And for the coaches who are here, when we were training as coaches, we were told that there's power in silence. My grandmother apparently used to do that, and you'd talk to her and she'd just be gazing at you, looking into your eyes, and you'd continue talking and talking and talking. Later in life now, when I trained as a coach, I realized the importance of silence. We manage teams. I believe you're called a leader because you are leading at least a group of people, or you're in a position that is influential. Do you ever take a few steps back and just be silent and allow people to speak up? Or are you the kind of leader who wants to, you know? I know I have 25 years of experience, so I'll be talking from, you know, anytime I speak, I'll be, oh, this is from experience. Aren't we learning from our children? We are. So think about the power of silence. The ability to listen, and not only to listen to respond, but listening with empathy and compassion. Anytime you see someone acting up, there's an underlined issue. And when we take a few steps back to share our compassion and empathy, you will get into the nitty-gritty of what the individuals are struggling with. And of course, keep an open mind, be open. Times are changing. There's now AI. Children are challenging us. I never talk back to my parents. I don't argue with my sister, simply because of how we were brought up. But times have changed, so keep an open mind if you want to become a better leader. And of course, the importance of storytelling cannot be overemphasized. If you're invited to write, do not second guess yourself. You have a story, and that story is important to the community that you live in and the community that you serve. And I did a lot of research on leading from the heart. And other than the Bible that says that we need to guard our hearts, Quran also says that it is having the capacity to think. The heart is the seat of your intention. So when you leave your house tomorrow morning, if you're a leader, please set an intention and ask yourself, what are you going to do? Thank you very much. And I'm not a Toastmaster, and I can't talk.
You did so well. Speech, they would have let it slide. Yeah, and this is a normal speech. But that is so amazing. Madam Coach, can you also coach people to divorce if that's what they really want? Yeah, I just wanted that clarification. They make the decision, but you can ask them the why, what, everything until they say, I'm getting out of this house, right? Okay, good, thank you. Thank you for that. Now this next author, we have to clap and clap until she gets here. When she gets here, we keep clapping. If we don't, we might not have tea and coffee and snacks. So this one we better clap. Okay, I'm counting on you guys. Okay. We're okay. I see we're already clapping. Okay, she is highly knowledgeable about the fundamentals of industrial relations, leadership in organizations, and mentorship. She is a committed and motivated human resource negotiator with almost 15 years of experience in the hospitality industry. She has an award in Women in Leadership with I Change Nation. She works here at the Tribe Hotels Group. So we better clap for Elizabeth and Chege. Woohoo! Welcome. We're clapping. Take your time. We're clapping. We're still clapping, and you are welcome to the stage. Thank you.
First, may I say welcome, everyone. We are so glad to have you here as our guest. And I'm so glad to have you here as my co-authors and all protocols observed. Thank you so much. Welcome. I hope you feel welcomed. I think they should not get you. They are not welcomed.
You're not having tea. Do you want tea?
You want tea? Then you have to feel welcomed. You are welcomed here. So we will have tea together. Thank you so much. We'll speak about the book. Thank you so much, Rodado, for choosing us. Actually, I'll start by I Change Nation. When I was nominated as a woman leader changing women in the society, I was like, I didn't know that the work that I do, anybody notice what I do. What I like so much about leadership is what I will talk about, is empowering people and changing other people's life. In leadership, I always say it is intentional. It's not about the position I hold, it's not about the person I am, it's not about the office that I am holding, but it's about the intentions that I have for me to be a leader. And with those intentions is what have been noticed by those people who are around me, who I didn't even notice, that they were noticing what we were doing around ourselves. Thank you so much, the Rodado, because you noticed that the same way the nation noticed that I was doing something to change the world in a different way. And that is how I was honored as woman in leadership in I Change Nation. And it was the first time that they were doing that in Kenya. So I was among the 5 women who were chosen, were nominated as women leaders. Talking about the book and the chapter that I've written about changing your mindset in leadership. And that is why I said leadership is about the intentions that you have. It's not about the position. And when you read my chapter, you will find that I'm talking about the intentions we should have wherever we are as women, as many have talked about it, that we are women. We start our leadership reading the kids, reading from where we are. So those intentions should be brought even in the corporate world. How are we putting them across? How are we showing them across so that people can see leadership in us? And how are we impacting leadership in wherever we are? So to me, leadership is about the impact that you leave, the impact that you have around you as a leader, as a woman, or even as a man, because I can see men here. We are only talking about women. The book is about women. But even you men, the intentions and the impact that you do around yourself is what makes a difference for you to be leaders. Thank you so much. I won't talk a lot. I invite you again, even when we are not having this round, to this praise. It's a wonderful praise. I'm not marketing it, but welcome to Tribe and Trademark. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we've won our ticket for tea, right? We will have tea, Elizabeth. Will we have tea? Elizabeth, are we having tea? Have we? Huh? We've earned it. We've earned it. We've clapped enough. Oh my goodness, this is going so well. I hope we're all enjoying this. Are we? Okay, this is great. Now, her innovative nature has seen her win many global awards, such as Women in Tech, Westerville Young Founders, Make It in Africa, Women in Africa, Launch and Grow. And let me tell you something. When I saw my book, I am an author as well of a personal branding book called Flaunt Your Genius. When I saw my book next to this woman's book on our shelves, I was like, Mama, I have made it. Because she's brilliant. She holds a bachelor's degree in chemistry and mathematics. She is an author of 2 books. So much to say about her, but she's a visionary, innovative, and a strategic thinker. I want to tell a story or a joke about this lady, and I think as I tell it, you will guess who I'm talking about. My daughter, yesterday, so I got the author profiles, I said, let me just print them so that I can get soaked into what these authors have written about, so that I can get to know them, so that I'm able to introduce them. By the way, that's what you do as a moderator. You do the work uko nyuma. You get to know these people. Unfortunately, I didn't get a time to call each of you. I wish I had, but I got everything I needed on these profiles. So I have and I had said my son is 9. My God, I'm growing old. My son is 11. So I have a 9-year-old daughter. My 9-year-old, her name is Melanie. So yesterday when I was prepping and reading through, she took it. And she started reading. And she kept going. And I'm wondering, what is she saying? Because she said, Anik, Anik, by the way, I won't even say the other name because if I tell you how she said it, it's a whole joke on its own, separate joke. So she kept saying, Anik, a visionary, innovative. She kept going. Then she kept saying, Anik. I'm like, I've looked at all these profiles. I've been on the WhatsApp group. I haven't seen any Anik. So I said, okay, give me that baby. Give me. I was like, oh, please, let's welcome on stage Eunice Maina. Welcome, Eunice. Welcome. Let's clap. We're clapping for her until she gets here. Welcome to the stage. Thank you, Eunice.
Is it not too high for me?
Would you like it lower? Or would you like to use this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I was wondering who is Anik. I love your daughter. Yes, I have to begin just like everyone else. When Rhoda called and she told me that I need to contribute to a book about women. Now, I in my heart, I was like, what is this women thing? You know, I don't like this women thing. And for me, I was like, what can I say to women? I mean, I'm a human being, like every other man and woman. So what am I supposed to talk about women? Or am I supposed now to start, discriminating against body parts? I went to my husband and I told him, these people want me to write about women. I don't have anything to tell women. Why? Because I didn't grow up knowing that I'm a woman. I grew up knowing that I am a person. A person who is capable of doing whatever I need to do. So I am not very good at writing things to do with women. Then my husband was like, just write and say that. Oh, okay. So I told Rhoda, okay, I'll write. And I'll say that I grew up just like a human being, cutting napier grass like my brother, going to the river like my sisters. We all did the same thing, so there was no differentiator in our home. So I'm Eunice Maina, a wife, a mother. I normally say I'm a mother of 7, but raising 1. Women go through many things, so you can have so many and then you only have 1. But I'm a mother of nations, okay? Now, I will just read something that inspires me every day, and it is from Marianne Williamson. I'm sure you've read that quote, and I'll just read it. She says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that the other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us. It is in every one of us. It is not just in men. It is in every man and woman. I'm adding that. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. When I read this quote many years ago, I decided to own it, that I am powerful beyond measure. And I actually, even in my career, I discovered that I used to be frightened. I don't know how many of you fear success, but I discovered during my career that I feared success. You need to find out. Most likely, the thing that you fear is not failure. It could be success. I discovered that through my boss, who called me once and asked me, Eunice, what would happen if you earned $500,000? And I didn't have words. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, my husband would leave me. And I didn't know, I told him that. But of course, he heard it. And he asked. And he would say that husbands don't want wives who are earning. And I was like, yeah, who said? Yeah, and I looked at him and looked at myself and I said, Eunice, what would really happen? Can we try and see what would happen? And that is the day that I woke up and I said, you know what, let's see. So I maintain an attitude which I call, first the humility to know that, or rather to accept that I don't know many things. What I know is so little. And the curiosity to find out what could it be? What is it that I don't know? And I pray God to give me the ability to change the things I can change and to live with the things I cannot change. And basically just to flow like water. And so when she was reading that, it is true that since that time, when I realized that I feared success, I said, I'm going to try whatever will come to my mind. I believe that God speaks to me in still small voice. You know that voice? That voice that tells you, go, do it. I have learned and I have decided for the number of years that God will give me, I will obey that voice, that still small voice. Sometimes it's ridiculous. Sometimes it looks like madness. The things that I've tried, they're actually madness to some people. Because I hear that voice, and if you read the Bible and you have read the story of Elijah, and when he was, running away from, was it Ahab or someone like that, and there was thunderstorm, there was lightning, there were so many things that came, but God was not in all those things. And what I've learned is that God is not in the noise. I think he's in the silence. I think somebody talked about silence. In that still small voice, and women, you have it. We all have it. I believe even men, we all hear that still small voice. Pastors call it the voice of God. I mean, they say God has spoken. For me, because I'm not very sure, I call it, I have learned to identify it as the voice of God. And so I'll just leave you with 3 things. Just keep the humility to accept that you don't know much. There's so much to be known. And the curiosity to find out what is it that I don't know. And number 3, flow. Be water. Just flow. When it finds difficult places, navigate over it. You don't have to fight every obstacle. Not all battles are for you to fight. You can navigate around them. Thank you.
Eunice, yeah, the things she tries. I've had her on a show. I don't know if she remembers. The time I had a show for entrepreneurs and I interviewed her. And the way she talked about that, sell me that pen, I was like, she's crazy. She's a crazy salesperson. But I think we all need to be crazy salesperson, especially if we're going to be selling these books and getting them to the global stage. Right or wrong? Right. Indeed. We're coming to the end of our speeches because I think we only have 1 or 2 more to go. But this next speaker is a 2022 International Visitor Leadership Program alumni, a program by the U.S. State Department. She is a trainer of trainers, certified mental health and wellness champion. She is an award-winning transformational leader, governance and leadership practitioner. She is a policy expert and a certified professional mediator. And I would like to call to stage, do I see her in the room? Author Edina Nyaboke Kangwana, are you in the room? Yes, she's outside. Edina, it's your chance to shine. Come on stage, we're clapping for you. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, we're gonna clap until you get here. And I must say, you look amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you. Would you like to use this mic or that mic? This mic, okay, you're welcome.
You got me off guard. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Praise God. My name is Edina Kangwana, and I'm happy to be here today. I don't know what to tell you, but I want to give a shout out to Dr. Adido for this amazing job that he has done for the women of Kenya, Africa, and beyond. I love reading books. Whenever I am in a mall, I get myself lost in a textbook center. And I peruse through the authors. I find so few of them who look like me, who have a name like me. But now I know my children, my great-grandchildren are not going through the journey that I have gone through because we have people like Ladido, and we have women who are already co-authors, because I know from here, we are going to do our own standalone books. Are we? The journey has started, eh? Thank you. So what I contributed to the book is about honor, because I believe that leadership development can be made possible through adopting or embracing the culture of honor, which is, I can say, is lost in Africa or in Kenya. I don't know whether there is someone here in the house who can remember the time he was in primary school and a teacher said, clap for Carol, clap for Tom. How did you feel? Good? You felt like a queen or a king, isn't it? That is what it can do, the culture of honor. When we learn to embrace, to celebrate good, the community and the world continues to do that. When we don't celebrate good, the bad is celebrated, and the young ones start adopting the bad. We can make a difference by celebrating good right here. Look at your friend and say, you're looking beautiful or handsome, because I know you dressed for this. At home, when your children do good, celebrate them. That way you are creating a leader. That young mind is going to do extra good because he knows that good is celebrated. I didn't know that I was anybody until when I was working during COVID-19. I was working at the county government of Kisii as the county minister for administration. I had just gotten in. I didn't know my way around, and COVID came in. And we started doing emergency response. We didn't know how to go about it. So many MOH guidelines, conflicting, so many confinement rules. And we were doing it, getting by. But later when I was going to the villages, I realized we had a shadow pandemic. Our girls in Kisii were getting pregnant. Our women were getting pregnant. A number of them feared going for contraceptives because they thought they were going to get COVID. No one was guiding them. So I started dealing with a shadow pandemic. And we did quite well. I realized that Kenyans are good people. We could get sanitary pads, we could get doctors joining us, masking up and talking to those people. And that, my efforts were recognized, and I was honored by the 4th President of the Republic of Kenya with the Moran of the Burning Spear Award. Thank you. So I felt, I didn't deserve it, but I know what it did to me. It aroused the inner leader inside me. I started doing more, small, but I know it was creating impact. It is about 3 years I've been honored about 11 times. Not that I go knocking for those awards, but because I continue to serve and I never get tired. And I want to remind you here that continue to serve. In serving is the only way we find meaning in life. It's not about the honor, it's not about anything, but continue to serve. While serving, don't continue to light your candle and put it under the table. Put it on top of the table so that other people can see. And why can't we do the serving? By starting to appreciate other people. I think the golden rule that we all know is what you expect other people to do to you, why don't you start doing it for them? Okay? Are we there? I know in the book there are so many ladies who have written about so many topics, and leadership is not about honor, about being celebrated, but I want to ask you that you take your time, you read through every chapter, one chapter complements another. But all chapters compounded together will make us the strong women of Kenya that we are looking for, and importantly, we are going to be the strong giants that the young ones will continue to stand on to see the new horizon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Edina. That was powerful. We truly appreciate you, and congratulations on the work you're doing as a social entrepreneur as well. So I'm going to introduce our next one, who's going to be our second last before our guest speaker comes on stage. And she is the chair of the board of directors of Beyond Africa. She is a board member of the ISEC International Supervisory Group. She is also a business coach, very many coaches in the room. A co-founder of Africa's Brain Hub based in South Africa. She is a social and serial entrepreneur based in Africa. So this one is a special one because she is not here with us this afternoon, this evening, but she sent her mother to just come and say hello to us. So the mother of Edith Wangare, you are welcome on stage. Let's clap for her as she comes. Thank you very much, thank you. We appreciate you. Just say hello to us and whatever message she gave you.
Thank you. I didn't expect to speak because my daughter is a greater speaker than I am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Edith is away at work. She's an outstanding leader. She's an outstanding changer. That's perhaps a tip of the iceberg. She's done well academically, but even better as an entrepreneur and in the business world. She's well-traveled all over the world, making a difference for entrepreneurs because she does speak to businesses all over Africa. She got the chance to study abroad, but she came back home and said, the place I want to be at is in Africa, to solve the problems for African businesses. So she's a stand to transform businesses within Africa. She's a stand for the transformation of young leaders and entrepreneurs. I don't even have the CV that this young girl has because she did the studying that I didn't do. Alisoma yenye sikusoma. She's a double master's student. She's a double degree student. But what I value about her is the time she takes to spend and expend her energy into other people. So she empowers other people to be better than what she actually is. So on all her businesses, I've seen her work with young people in Ethiopia. I've seen her work with young people in South Africa. I've seen her work with young people in West Africa. I think she's only going to come back home to pack a suitcase to go back again. So she's all over the place making a difference for businesses in Africa. And the question she keeps asking is a key question that I want to pose for everybody in the room. What are we doing for the Kenyan businesses, particularly in this economy right now? What impact can everybody in this room go out and have on the Kenyan businesses? We're going to be saying that the Kenyan businesses are perhaps the biggest hit vis-a-vis other African businesses, but what are we doing about the Kenyan businesses? And the Kenyan business for me is that 19-year-old who's just left high school, or that 20-year-old who's now in university. The conversation we need to be having about entrepreneurship, and perhaps because we're not talking about women leaders, is the conversation about young entrepreneurs who can pay their school fees. My daughter chipped in when she was studying. She used to pay part her fees. When I did the part, she did her part as well. So she understood the process of mom chips in, we chip in, and she chips in on her school fees. Right now, we have students who've gone back to university, and they have no idea how they're going to roll out on school fees this year. Parents are actually struggling. How are these students going to come out of school? And then the other conversation that we need to talk about as Kenyan entrepreneurs or as leaders in this conversation is, where are these young people going after they leave school? And I believe most of those questions have been answered in the books here. Because graduates are at home. Lots of graduates. My peers have children, 3 children, 4 children, highly educated, but they're sitting at home, vegetating in the houses. Who's going to have this conversation? I think that's the next big conversation we need to have in this country. That is already a conversation whose time has already run out. It's actually an ICU conversation. Where are we going? Who's going to have the conversation about these young people? Highly educated, skilled, intelligent, but they're vegetating in the homes. That is where my heart lies. And as a mother of an adult, that's a conversation we keep having with my daughter. And that's a question she keeps posing. What we do about the Kenyan young people who are entrepreneurs? Edith, my daughter, would have done a better speech than I have. She would have done a beautiful speech. She's an intelligent, remarkable, great speaker. I'm only perhaps a quarter of what she does in speaking. But I'm really proud of who she has become as a leader for the continent of Africa. I'm one proud mom. Asante sana.
My God, you did an amazing job. I want to listen to her speaking now. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Oh, let's clap for her. Let's just appreciate her. And don't we all wish our mothers would say those things about us? Whenever I'm talking about personal branding, I said I am a personal branding coach, right? Your mother does, right? Amazing. We want our mothers to say those things about us. So, I am a personal branding coach. You will never hear the end of that. Now, whenever we're doing personal branding, I keep saying you have a brand, whether you know it or not. You already have a brand out there. And if you want to know what your brand is, sometimes all you need to do is ask people who know you to say things about you. Like 3 of your closest. And ask them, who am I to you? What do you think about me? What would you ask of me? And there is where you get to know how your reputation is out here. You did justice. Thank you for that. Oh, let's clap again. Yay, I think the claps are coming. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming. Now, I'm going to twist this a bit, just a little, because somebody just walked in and said better late than never. So we are just going to allow her. But I think because she was late, we'll allow her 5 minutes, not 5 to 7. Or should we give her 5 to 7? 5 to 7? 5 to 7 is fine. Okay. I'm going to invite the next author who just walked in before we go into our guest speaking. And she is serving as the head
I'm here nevertheless. My name is Dr. Edna Moraurina. I work in Kisii County in a facility called Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital. I held the Department of Radiology and Imaging. So I wrote about mentorship, and I just want to talk briefly about my story and how I decided to write about mentorship. So I grew up in a small village, Kisii, in a constituency called Nyaribari. I was brought up by a nurse who is my mother, and my father is a clinical officer. The two started a small facility right at the village, a dispensary. So my father quit from government and decided to start a small dispensary right at our background, home background. And this is because he saw a gap within the village. Most of people there couldn't afford health care, so we would find people dying from just basic illnesses like diarrhea, the illnesses that are actually basic that someone is not supposed to die from. So this inspired him, and so he started a small dispensary right at home. So I grew up just seeing sick people because the dispensary is right at our home. So I never knew that I was being mentored subconsciously, because now as I grew up, went through primary school, went through high school, and I made it to university. I was actually called to do nursing, but luckily enough, during our time, they used to give girls 1 point less for you to do medicine. So when I joined nursing school, I did apply to do medicine because I'd missed the medicine course by 1 point, and I happened to get to medical school. And so I thank God for that, because my dream actually came true. So the reason why I wrote about mentorship is because I myself was mentored subconsciously to do what I do. And when I grew up and made it to where I am, I realized that most people forget to tell their story. There are people who look at you and actually wonder, how did so-and-so get to become a teacher? How did so-and-so get to become a banker? And you just never remember to talk to even to your sibling or to a friend, just a story, and encouraging people on how to do it. So while I was when I joined my career, or rather I started my career in medicine, I realized that the career was very involving. You couldn't get time to actually do things besides your technical expertise. And I shared my story with a friend, and the friend happens to be in the house, and I just want to say that she's my mentor, and she can stand up and wave to you. Yeah. So at the time, she was working in Kisii County as a county executive, as a CEC, and she loved doing things outside her work. She used to go to schools, primary schools, high schools, right in the village, not schools that are within town. And what she used to do was just to give encouragement and give your personal story on how you came to be. And then you realize that the school that these children are going in the village, they are very low. I mean, the surrounding is not very good. Sometimes they feel demoralized. They feel like they cannot make it from those schools. But once you tell them their stories, your story, and you realize that you actually went through the same schools and you made it to where they are, you actually just encourage someone and they work hard to be where they are. I usually tell myself that when you're talking to someone or when you're in a class teaching, you're not teaching the whole class. You're actually speaking to an individual. Not everybody will pick up what you're telling them, but that one person or two people will pick up what you're saying, will change their lives. And so together, me and her, we collaborated, and we've been doing that in our locality. Recently, I was invited to give a speech at Nova Pioneer in Tatu City. This is something that I never thought would happen, and This did change my life, and I realized that the small mentoring that I used to do right in the village has made people out here realize that actually these stories that people are sharing can actually help the young girls and boys to become what they are. So mentorship begins right from our homes. How do you talk to your children? Do you listen to them? Do you get to know what they want to do? Or we are usually trying to achieve our unfulfilled passion through our children. Maybe you wanted to become a doctor, you didn't make it. Then now you want to push your child to become a doctor. So we encourage that you actually listen to your children, whatever they want to do, you support them through that. And even in schools, I realize that there are schools who have mentorship programs, even in career guidance. Like if you want to become an architect, some year through your high school, you're being taken to actually a facility or an architectural institution, and you actually get to see what architects do. So mentorship is, you don't have to be older for you to mentor someone who's young. You can mentor someone who's older than you. You can also be mentored by someone who's younger than you. You can mentor across board. So let's just embrace the power of mentorship. Let's continue and remember to give our stories. You never know what you'll say that will mean the world to somebody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Edna. We appreciate you, and even just for coming and then coming right on stage and speaking without notes. Let's appreciate her. Thank you very much, Edna. Thank you. Okay, great. I think this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Cake cutting, right? We love cake. And also ribbon cutting for the books. But before that, we're going to have our guest speaker for the day. But how about a dad joke? We call them mom jokes because I love them so much. Dad joke. Okay, what kind of music scares balloons? Pop music. See? Now we're getting this. We're getting it. Okay, pop music. Why was the math book sad? Why was the math book sad? We're getting it. We're getting it. Why was it sad? Because it had too many problems. Why can't you trust a balloon? Why can't you trust a balloon? That's a good one. Why can't you trust a balloon? It will pop? It is full of hot air. Hot air. Good stuff, good stuff. See, we're getting it. Next time we'll be flowing and flowing with these dad jokes. Good stuff. So, it is time for us to invite the guest speaker. But because we've been sitting for too long, and also because this is a very special guest, I want us to all stand as I read her profile and as I introduce her. Could we all stand, please? Thank you very much. Thank you. She works with companies to build and maintain a happier workforce with the emphasis on happy employees, work-life balance, better relationships and communication at work, appropriate methods to meet workforce needs. She has won the best startup for Mount View Residential Care Home, and I want her to tell us where this is. Mount View Residential Care Home. She is a leadership consultant. She is an author and also a business owner. She is a life and business coach. I have practiced this, how to say her name, and I know I have done a good job. Let's welcome to the stage Miss Kausal Kudarat. Did I say it right? Awesome. You are welcome. Thank you very much. You prefer this mic, right? We are clapping for her until she...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take the stage. Thank you.
My God, this is a lot. I am blessed
I never thought that I would be surrounded with amazing warriors today. Big clap to you. So, good afternoon. My name is Kausar. I am from Mauritius. And Mauritius is part of the abundant continent of Africa. I came to Kenya some years ago, and I was mesmerized by the kindness, the generosity, and the potential of the Kenyan people. Since then, I have chosen Kenya to be my second home. I wish to thank our host for this wonderful support, for his presence, and for believing in the leadership of women. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a voice today. And to really start about leadership, I think we all need to understand the power of beliefs. This is what I am writing in my book, The Power of Beliefs, where our beliefs come from, and how we are going to work on our beliefs. So, from our very early age, we are made to carry certain thoughts, our sorry, I think it's the emotion, sorry. So we come to this earth as creatures, we are helpless. We are at the mercy of those around us. We are exposed to various situations, to people, to environment. We carry a bag of beliefs right from our very early ages, from our caregivers, from our parents, from our grandparents, our friends, our peers, the media, teachers, books. The list is very long. Sometimes this bag gets so heavy that it pins us down. We become stressed, we become anxious, and we are less available for ourselves and our loved ones. So my question, I've been questioning myself how to work on those beliefs all the time. Right from my childhood, right from my adolescence. I've been questioning, why should I do it this way? Why should I do the same things as my cousins? Why should I do the same things as my friends? So I've been questioning that all the time. And at a point, I decided to choose different. And this is what made a difference in my life. Like a lady said, it may sound crazy to other people, the risk that you take. It may sound crazy how you are planning your life. But when you choose different, you give yourself the chance to have a different life, to live different, to get out of the struggles of the people around you. The struggles, be it were you from a poor family, from a less educated family. So you give yourself the chance to think and be different. I believe that when we focus our energy on who we can be, rather than what others must give us, we definitely waste less energy. We shift from what I called a consumer mode into the producer mode. We become the giver. We take time to look into ourselves and to tap what is really our gift. Why are we here? Are we just consumers? Are we just absorbers? Or are we here to give to others? So it is very interesting to know that women in many cultures and societies have been made to endure the most inhuman treatments, silently crying, waiting for saviors, praying for better days. But fortunately, education and empowerment have slowly allowed us to know where our place is. What is our role and what is our contribution? There are many mothers in this room. So let us acknowledge that the notion of maternal love and parenting is cultural. Often it is passed from our previous generations. We have patterns and we see that there are ripple effects across our families. The cultural vision of motherhood and parenting shape thinking without conscious awareness. The beliefs parents carry about their children. So if you are a parent and you do not believe in the abilities of your children, this will definitely impact on the future of your children, on what the child himself believes he can do, on what he believes he can achieve, and who knows what will be his achievements in future. So I strongly believe that as parents, we must think how we are viewing the future of our children. Siblings who are seen as less able, who are seen as fragile, usually carry those thoughts into adulthood. Now, this impacts a lot on their self-worth, on their choices, and on risk assessment. They do not have trust in their success. Like, there was a lady who said, we fear our own success. That's true. Sometimes we cannot imagine that we will be in a better world. We cannot imagine that we deserve better jobs, better careers, better futures. Self-doubt can haunt and paralyze us to never achieve our dreams, and definitely we settle for less. Cultures and traditions. We have seen that for decades we have seen how cultures and tradition are passing practices and creating situations just to have people under control. Chaos is dreaded and adversity is seen as sin or lack of respect. I always like to start to take examples from children, from the babies, from the children who are attention seekers, like we say sometimes. To begrudge a child's attention-seeking behavior means inadvertently training them to be indirect. So they do not come to you to say what is going wrong. They become indirect. They become shy children. So suppressing a child's voice is suppressing a child's emotion. And doing that repeatedly leads to an unbalanced chemistry. It leads to even more distress. Many examples you will see that children have issues in their digestive systems. They are stressed. They have immune problems. This is very common nowadays. And of course, it makes them less open to opportunities. So a child senses the parent's interest. He senses the tone of the voice of the parent. He senses the body language. He senses the eyes that are looking at it. And the child then becomes less developed, less open, and it could definitely have a long-term impact on how he is going to show up. Today, we see that there are many single mothers, and the father's involvement in childcare, as we all know, is crucial for the cognitive and learning abilities. We know that the involvement of a father's attention, a father's love, promotes social ability, promotes confidence and self-control in children. The work starts at a very early age, and in many rural areas of African countries, we see that the youth is extremely shy. The youth is not coming or discussing the issues that they are facing. They are scared. There is fear of judgment, there is low self-esteem, and there is what we know as the fear of rejection. So shyness is believed to be developed due to interactions with authoritarian or other overprotective parents. And severe shyness is instigated as a negative and unpleasant emotion linked to anxiety and loneliness. There are so many beliefs rooted in our childhood that need to be understood and worked on. I believe that we as leaders, we who are at the head of organization, we can identify and we can better help those who work with us. With appropriate strategies and exercises, there are ways to master the thought processes. A leader is one who has written a new language. She uses that language to enable herself to acquire unflinching self-beliefs. Over time, as we work with different people, we understand that there are tendencies and there are patterns that we can help to solve. There are new thoughts, new actions, and new behaviors that can attract new results. So mainly my message today is to the women, mothers, sisters, daughters, to recognize limiting beliefs, to not delay seeking help or reporting dysfunction. There are many cases of sexual abuse in rural areas. We see the youth, we see women who do not know, who have no hope, who do not know what to do and how to earn. If you choose to work with such dysfunction, then it is very likely that we will make an impact towards a more collaborative and a more productive workforce. So I am here to celebrate the success of women, and I am here to make a call to ask women to hold space for each other, to nurture growth, and to spread your light to empower others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I didn't say that she's actually one of the authors in the book as well. So let's appreciate her again. Thank you very much, Kausao. Did I get it right? Kausao. But you didn't tell us where the view place is. This view park is in Mauritius. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. We really, really appreciate you. I still will call you back on stage to come and help us cut this. We are honored to have you here to come and help us cut this ribbon. After that, we will have the cake cutting. So, ladies and gentlemen, the official launch of the book, SheLeads, Lessons from Women Leaders, has begun, or can we say has continued. We're about to cut the ribbon, And now I want to know, who are the people popping my little things, Joanne? Who are the people popping my things as we cut this ribbon? Kindly join us on stage so that we can cut this ribbon. Ms. Kausao. I think I would like us to stand for this moment. Kindly. Thank you. I would like Doso to join us on stage as well as we do this. Past 2 years with this author, and it has never, today is a coffee date that we are having. Marian Nyangi, we would like you to come. Could you come and help us cut this cake? And as you do that, we would actually appreciate to hear a little bit from you, because you're also an author in this book. This is the punishment. No, it is not a punishment, but please help us cut the cake. You're welcome.
Thank you, my dear. And I'm so honored to be in the presence of such mighty and powerful women. I think God called me to serve women a few years ago in 2013. And for me, women is my calling, and I love to do it. So I'm honored. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. How do you want us to do this? You don't want to tell us things about cake, the unga, the powder, the what. You're just going to go straight into the cutting. All right, so yes, kindly go and do that for us. Yeah, what does it say? They say go to the other side, and yes. Speak into the cake. Speak into your food.
I'm also a woman of God. Joanne knows. So I'll speak into the cake that it's blessed in Jesus' name. And I love that it says she leads. And this is a forum for women.
Mary. They said Mary. Mary. Kata keki.
Kata keki tukule sasa. Kata keki tukule sasa.
Kata keki tukule sasa.
Tukule sasa.
Kata keki tukule sasa. Keki sio ugali. Keki sio ugali.
Kata keki, kata keki, kata keki tukule sasa.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Just stay there so that you can take a few photos. A few photos, yes. First bite should go to Mr. Doso, kindly. Mr. Doso, kindly come and have the first bite. Yes, and then Joanne is going to help us serve the cake. All right. Oh, good stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, this is what I would like us to do. Joanne is going to help us serve the cake to the authors and everybody else. And thank you for doing this for us. We appreciate you. Thank you. So, is this our coffee date? Okay. At another time, another place. Oh, yes, you are an author. You're part of this group. So we'll take a few photos, and then authors, you will not go outside. You will go and sit on that table and this table here, so that as people network, they're going to come and get the books, and you're going to autograph them. So you're all going to autograph the books, but it's good if you're seated at one central place. So that table and this table, I think, should be enough for all of you. Are we good with the pictures? Sorry? Okay, good. All right, pictures. No, there's another picture I want. I want another picture. Everybody holding a copy, kindly. Yeah. So that we know it was a book launch and not a...
Just lift the whole version. Help you.
Yes. It was not a Chama meeting, although it's like a Chama written book. So everybody hold a book. We all have? One more? Okay. Good. Uh-huh. Close up. Just let them take one first, and then I'll join in. Yeah. Move there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, one more. We're going to put this here so that we... Good stuff. And come join you on stage. Is that good? That's good? Awesome. Thank you very much. And we will take many more photos. Please utilize the space outside to take photos with your families, with your friends, on your own as well. And just talk about this message all over social media, because we want people to appreciate women leadership. We want people to appreciate women authors. We want people to appreciate the things that we have appreciated today. And we want to sell the book, right? We also want to sell the book. And for us to sell the book, we want to preach the message everywhere. So the authors are going to be sitting here and here. Dear authors, kindly sit on that table and that table. And as you do that, I would like to welcome Joanne on stage. Joanne. So Joanne will come on stage to give a vote of thanks and also to pray for the tea. Can you do that? So Joanne is going to give a vote of thanks and also pray for the tea, so that after you get your book, you're free to leave, you're free to network, and this is a networking event. So make sure you network with somebody, make sure you meet a new person. Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Okay, Joanne, please come and give us a vote of thanks and also pray for our tea. Joanne, are you in the house? Joanne, yes, thank you. It has been an honor to be your MC and moderator today. Did you like it? Hey, hey, hey. People are already talking about tea. I'm saying it has been an honor to serve you as your MC and moderator. Yay! Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chege. Thank you. Thank you, classmates. I totally appreciate that. So, Joanne, the stage is yours. Thank you. You want to use this? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be speaking before you today. What a beautiful event it has been. Who witnesses to this? Has it been a successful event? Can I hear the voices of the authors? Has it been successful? Yes. So as we come to the end of this remarkable event, I am deeply honored to deliver a heartfelt vote of thanks. This is not cliche that every event should have a vote of thanks. But this is coming from a place of authenticity. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you who has made it to this event. Your presence has really added value to this launch. It wouldn't have been the same without you. So I would like us to just put our hands together and clap for each other. I also thank the visionary team of the SheLeads project, together with the Zion publishers, for conceiving this and executing this event. Where would we be without them? Let's give them a thanks. But most of all, this would not have been successful without the different powerful brains that put it together, the co-authors, the contributors, who put their minds together to make this a book. Maybe it would have been, it would have remained an article in a journal. Maybe it would have remained an article in a newspaper or something. Maybe it would have died in our brains. But we thank God that this great wisdom has been put together, and now we have a book that will stay and last for generations. We thank God for that, and I thank you all, dear authors, for making this a success. I also thank the team that has been behind the curtains, the camera people, the team from Zion publishers. I won't mention names because I might miss out someone's name and then they punch me in the face when we go back to work. But I thank all of you, everyone who has made this a success. But last and not least, I give glory to the Almighty God. He's my friend. And I appreciate him so much for making this a success. We didn't know that we were going to pull it off. But because he operates in each and every one of us, he made sure that we would not give us, because winners never quit. I'm about to say amen. So thank you, all of you, for making this possible. And let's keep the conversation going. So as I conclude, I just want to give us a few announcements, and then I'll say a short prayer for our tea. So if there is anyone in the room who wants to take part of this SheLeads project, please reach out to us at the registration desk. We can talk more to see how you can take part of this project. By the way, you do not have to be a woman to take part of this. We are also welcoming men. And then if you want to hear more of these conversations, what the ladies have shared tonight, we always have LinkedIn live casts every Monday and Thursdays from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. We don't know whether that time works for us in terms of work-life balance, but we'll see about that. We start at 7:30 p.m. So I welcome you to always join us on LinkedIn. We always share that on our Zion Pearl Publishers page. And then these books are now for sale. Someone didn't clap for that. We are going to start making money, ladies. You're going to start making money. So the volume 2 books are now up for sale. You can find them right outside, or you can recommend someone to find them at the Somanami bookstore. It's at Greenhouse Mall. Then the other bookstore is Nuria bookstore at the Bazaar Plaza. So if you're not in the country, you can still get them on Amazon. Yes, we can still recommend our friends, family, and whoever to find them on Amazon. Volume 1 is also available. You can grab a copy just right outside or in those bookshops. By the way, don't leave this place without a souvenir. Every one of us needs a souvenir apart from the book. We have T-shirts that are outside. They are up for sale. We have the ones that have collars, and then we have the round neck ones. Each goes at a different price, but please take a souvenir for someone who did not attend the event. And if you came in with a car, we have parking tickets still at the registration desk. Yes, so all right. Enough of the announcements. Let's go right in with a prayer. Let's bow our heads and pray for our tea. Father, we thank you for all the sugar we are going to take, for all the tea and the sweetness involved in the tea. We pray that this is not just taking tea, but it's a time of networking, catching up, and talking business. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Oh, by the way, there are interviews going on right outside. Ladies, if you are not interviewed, please feel free to come and let's have a chat. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate her. Let's appreciate her. And I still want to ask the authors to come to this table and that table so that it's easy for people to come and get you autograph their books or sign their books. So authors in the house, kindly join us here. Marianne. All the authors, join us here and there so that we can be able to sign these books. Again, it has been an honor serving you as the MC and the moderator of today's event. Let's appreciate again. And then let's go out there and drink that tea and also network. God bless you. God bless women. God bless Africa. And remember to take photos, as many as possible. Remember, we also want to hear your views on how the event went. So kindly, if they pull you aside, kindly go and give us your views. Is that good also, or do you want me to say something else? Good. Remember to take photos and photos and photos and photos. Thank you, and God bless you.